Hi everyone, we've got a 2014 Toyota Aygo. It's going to be the same for a Citroen C1 or Peugeot 107. We've got a dash light fault, no mileage on the dash, I don't think the speedo works, and we've got a few dash lights that are on dim all the time. So let's get into it and have a look. So right, okay, this one has been brought into us by another garage. They had a quick look at it, they've checked all the fuses, and then they spoke to somebody at like an ECU instrument cluster repair place. They said, yep, really common fault, send the unit to us, we'll repair it. So that happened, and in fairness to them, they did call them and say, we've put it on a test bed, we've tested it and we can't fault it. But they still offered the rebuild on the unit, which the garage had done. Unit came back and surprise, surprise, nothing had changed. So they've asked if we can have a look at it for them. So let's have a look what it's doing. So it looks all right now, but we've got no mileage or anything displayed there. And then when you start it up, we've got those lights on all the time, and sometimes they're a bit flickery. I mean, at the minute they seem okay, but they're all dim. And also, when I drove it in, oh, this is how it was built, by the way. We have not taken it to bits. They said they just plugged the cluster in and brought it to us like this, because they assume we'll have to get to behind it. But yeah, so sometimes these lights are dimmer and flickering as well. But nothing ever comes on the display, and the speedometer doesn't work. And apparently the rev counter doesn't work, although that's been taken off. We've got that here separately, but so let's see what we can find out. Let's start with just checking a few powers and grounds, I think. I'll pull up a wiring diagram and see what we're supposed to have. So I've just printed off a wiring diagram. I thought it was easier to print it off for you. So for the instrument cluster and the BCM. So this here is the BCM, this is the instrument cluster. But physically in the car they are joined together. The cluster and BCM are on the back. But these are the wires specifically for the speedometer part of it. And ground we've got, so this is our ground. That one, it's not a diesel, so it must be that one. If it's diesel, it must go through there. So I don't know if that's... Not sure if that is an engine choice. It doesn't say like this one, like it says if it's not diesel it's here, if it's diesel it's there. I'm not sure why you get, or if that's actually a splice. Don't know, we'll look at that. So it looks like we've only got two grounds, but just the way the lights are flickering, to me it's got to be a ground issue. It just looks groundy, unless something's back feeding through something, but it's almost always going to be a ground when you see that. So let's go to the back of the Speedo first and have a check these grounds. So we've got pin 17, possibly pin 23. A81. So we've got pin 17, which is going to be ground to EP6, and then pin 23, which is ground to EP8, maybe. Still not sure about that. Alright, so let's see what we've got. And 23. Light blue. 17 light blue. Right, so I'm in. Let me see. You can see that in that plug, pin 17, which is a light blue as it says in the diagram. I'm on voltage, ground, and what should be another ground. So I should have 0. I'm doing volt drop. I've got 8 volts. We should have 0 volts. It's ground to ground. Turn the ignition on. Got flickering lights. That should be 0 volts. That ground is no good. Oh. So, if I give this a ground, I'm going to ground it on there, look. Up there. Everything's come back to life. Yeah. Fuel gauge, mileometer and everything. Oh, we've lost it again. Yeah, the probe's not great in the back of there. So we've lost our ground though. So that's the first one. Oh, I like it when it's the first one that comes to. So that should be EP8. Not very clear on there. EP8. So that's on. We've got no ground on this wire. I need to find where that earth point is, EP6. And then there's a plug somewhere there as well. That'll be the connector into the back of the speedo where we give it a ground. There'll be another one somewhere. I'm guessing that's another one somewhere. And then that's where it will mount to the body or engine or gearbox or wherever it mounts to. No results found. So light blue into pink and then into brown. Right, okay. Wait for a fuse box. No, AI is a load of rubbish. Right, okay, I'm going to have to just check all the earth points. Right, so let me show you what I found. I have got to it, but it's not where I thought it'd be. So I couldn't find an earth point at the back of the Speedo anywhere. I did have a look round. There is one down here. If you just take this corner trim off, it just pulls off. There's one up there, but there's black and white wires there go to it, but that one's all good, that one's fine. So then I want to try some under the bonnet before I start pulling the dashboard out. So we've got a couple there, which are good. There's another one there that goes bolts to the bulkhead, good. There's another couple, oh, at the back. Up here, but they're all good. And then I found there's one on the engine here. There's one there, well they both go to the same point, but this brown one's broke. Now I haven't tried anything yet, but I'm just going to try stripping it back and putting a temporary ground to it and seeing if that cures that fault. Put that on the and on the battery. I've literally just ground to the battery for now. Let's see if that. Oh, boom! So I'm pleased with that. That has turned out not to be too difficult, to be honest. Not a difficult one to find. I was a little bit concerned at the start, but it turned out alright in the end. So I've just put a new terminal on this wire. So yeah, the wire has broke out of that terminal, so I've just put another terminal on it. That'll be all good. It's a bit fiddly not to drop the bolt. It's not hard to get. If you got one without air conditioning, it'd be a lot easier. There we go. Right. Repair the earth. Let's see what she does. Oh, look at that. I'm loving that. Beautiful. Right. I didn't try it before, but I'll just give me a minute. I'll put it all back together. I'll put the rev counter on it, and then we'll see if that works. Right, I'll just put this back together. I didn't take it to bits, but there aren't that many screws, so I'm guessing there's one was in the ref counter on the top. A couple more bolts that look like might be them, and then we've only got 2 screws, so it's pretty simple, I'm guessing. Must all just mainly click together. If I'm honest, I don't think Citroen C1s or Aygos or whatever it is, they're known for their build quality, are they? For cheap and cheerful motors, though. Oh, right, okay. Screw in there. Screw in there. So if you've got one of these that's doing this, my advice would be to go straight to the earth point under the bonnet. Don't waste time pulling all these trims off looking for earth points at the back of the dash, which is exactly where I'd expect an instrument cluster to ground. So got there in the end, fixed that one. It wasn't too long a job, to be fair, but it would have been quicker if Autodata listed the earth point locations where they actually were, so we could have got straight to it. But other than that, it was pretty good. So hopefully you'll find that useful, and if you do, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.